Hello, I'm Cllr Natalie McVey and I'm Portfolio Holder for Housing and Health at Malvern Hills District Council. And I'm really pleased to be here with Annie Robson today, who's the new Chair of the Financial Wellbeing Partnership.
Hello.
If I can just tell you a little bit about the Financial Wellbeing Partnership. We set it up about 6 months ago because we were appreciative of some of the pressures that people in the Malvern Hills are under in terms of cost of living. And it brings together a variety of partners from across the council area who are working directly with residents and know who need the support and how to deliver that support to people. I hope that makes sense. We've been described as a pioneer in this area. We're actually one of the first council areas to set up a financial wellbeing partnership. So that explains what the partnership is, I think. And what we want to tell you a little bit today is how you can access support and help, particularly from the Citizens Advice Bureau, because that's who Annie works for. So Annie, I've got a few questions that I'd like to ask you, if that's okay.
Okay.
So first of all, what sort of things, can you help residents with at the Citizens Advice Bureau?
Okay, so we help with a number of different issues. Basically anything that comes through the door. It can be a really wide range of things. So typical sorts of issues that we help with are benefit queries. So people who maybe don't know what benefits they might be entitled to, or suddenly had a drop in benefit and don't understand that, or maybe have overpayments and therefore have got into debt. So debt is another thing that we offer a lot of advice on. We also have advisors who specialise in employment advice, so people who are struggling in their jobs for whatever reason. Consumer advice, so people who've maybe been scammed or have had a bad experience with buying a second-hand car or something like that. We can give advice on that. Housing is another big issue that we have. A lot of people come to us, particularly recently with the cost of living crisis. Suddenly rents have become unaffordable, people have had to make cuts and changes to their budgets and so on. So a lot of people have come to ask us about affordability of housing and how they can sort of move forward and remain safe in their houses. We also offer health and wellbeing services. So we have a social prescribing project where people are referred into from their GP surgeries. That aims to kind of tackle isolation a little bit, particularly in the fallout of COVID when people were, staying at home and not going out much. There's a lot of that's had a knock-on effect of mental health. So the social prescribing project reconnects people with different services that are available in the local community. That could be anything from kind of art therapy groups or walking groups or introduction to volunteering, getting people re-engaged with community activities, that sort of thing. We also have a lifestyle service. They target things like weight management, smoking cessation, reducing alcohol and drug use, and so they offer group sort of therapies really, where people with similar issues can come together, and they've been really successful in helping people again re-engage, reconnect with other people, with services, and that's been run really successfully in conjunction with Freedom Leisure. So they've offered gym passes and access to various different sort of exercise classes and stuff like that to help people sort of get engaged.
So there's certainly a lot going on your world. I know that you're really well connected with other organisations in the area. Do you find that you're signposting a lot to those organisations to help members of the public who come to you for support?
Yeah, I hope so. I think the relationships we have with other key partners is absolutely vital to what we do. We can't do what we do in isolation. So it's always useful to have people that we can go to in housing who can deal with this particular issue. We work a lot with Age UK, Christians Against Poverty, other services that offer debt relief solutions. And obviously now with the social prescribing and lifestyle projects, we work a lot more with the local PCN networks and public health in general. And so, yeah, we absolutely can't do what we do without having those established relationships with key partners. It's really important, which is why being part of the financial wellbeing, group is, again, very, very important. So we can all share what we do, find out what others do, and then pass that information on to people who really need it.
Exactly. I think that is fundamentally one of the most important things about the Financial Wellbeing Partnership and our network, to tackle poverty alleviation and to help residents who are going through some really tough times. And unfortunately, we think that those times might get tougher for some people. So it's important that they know who they can go to for help. How can residents contact you if they need some help?
So we are open access. We don't have a drop-in service currently. That kind of stopped when COVID, hit, and we haven't gone back to that. And one of the reasons we haven't gone back to drop-in is because it wasn't the most effective use of advisors' time and of the office building. We're very busy, but our door is effectively open, so people can refer themselves to us. They can just come in and expect to get a call back from an advisor within 1 or 2 working days. So they will then have an initial sort of telephone triage, if you like, and then if a face-to-face appointment is required, we do have that possibility as well. So people can access us through email, through a local phone number, and through also a Worcestershire-wide advice line number. There is a web chat option, and as I say, they can knock on the door. And we don't turn people away, but as I say, we don't have the drop-in service that we used to. But the way that we manage people now, I think, is a lot more effective.
Yeah. That sounds sensible to me. I think one thing that I would say to people is if you are struggling to reach out for help as soon as you can, really. I know that's not an easy thing to do, but Citizen Advice are definitely there for you to talk to you about any issues that you might be worried about. And do it as soon as possible if you can. Just finally, Annie, is there anything that you would like to tell people about that they might be surprised that you can support with or help with?
Gosh, we have such a wide range. One minute we'll get called by a man who's got a swarm of bees in his garden and doesn't know what to do with that, and then the next minute, another family whose world is falling apart because they've lost their job or whatever. So it's such a wide range. But obviously, more recently, a lot of our work has been taken in delivering and administering the Household Support Fund. So we've been able to secure some funding to issue vouchers to families and households who are struggling with the cost of living crisis. So we can offer voucher support for supermarkets, for some people for energy, for cost of gas and electric, and also for clothing, and particularly school uniform clothing, or generally clothing for children. I've got 2 young children myself, so I know how quickly they grow, and then you've got to buy new shoes and new kit for everything. So it's with people who are just about managing. The cost of living crisis has hit those people kind of the hardest, and it's now difficult for people like that to afford, the things that we 18 months, 2 years ago took for granted, being able to just go out and buy. So the Household Support Fund is open to everyone. We won't turn people away. We will support in every way that we can. I guess the message is, if you've got a query about anything that's causing an issue in your life and you don't know where to turn to, ask Citizens Advice. If we don't know the answer, we will know who does know the answer and signpost accordingly. Absolutely.
I think that was the message I wanted to leave people with, actually. Just ask for the help, and if Citizens Advice aren't the right people, they definitely know who will be the right people. So is there anything else that you wanted to share with us, Annie, today?
I suppose I just want to say, having worked with the Household Support Fund for the last 6 months or so, spoken to a lot of people who are a little bit embarrassed about accessing help, having never had to before, people who've maybe never claimed a benefit before, who feel a little bit awkward about that. The Household Support Fund is there for everybody. It's there if you've temporarily got a drop in income because you're off sick, but you're still employed. It's there if you're struggling because universal credits have reduced with the £20 uplift that the government gave. That was taken away. It's there, whatever your reasons. That this is government money. We don't want to give it back to government. We want it spent on the people who really need it the most.
Absolutely.
So, and what we do say to people, the message we do try and give is the same as people who are using food banks. Take the support when you need it, and then when you're back on your feet and you don't need it, you can give back at that point. And that's how these sort of schemes really work. Yeah. It's there when you need it, and you can donate to it or give back further down the line when things are a bit better.
Yeah, that's really helpful. I hope that people watching have found that information helpful. If you do need more information, please visit the Malvern Hills District Council website, but definitely have a chat with Citizens Advice because they can certainly help you.